What's up?
What's up?
Coffee Cruisers Day.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Yes,
Yep, it's Saturday.
we met up at Coffee Cruisers here in Charleston, South Carolina. Fun little group of motorcycle riders that gets together every now and then.
Yep.
So we're here in the Allendale area,
Yep.
enjoying our coffee, and we're going to take you guys for a ride. What does that sound like?
That sounds good. We got 2 hours to kill before we go see a BDR fish.
Yes,
So
Triumph.
Triumph is doing that.
Charleston Triumph, Dana and all those guys, Craig, they're putting on the premiere of the Southeast BDR movie. So.
From what I understand, they're going to show a couple of clips of our stuff.
Yes.
So let's go for a ride and then we'll go see the movie.
Okay, come along, check out Charleston with us.
Come along!
Right until we meet middle of night.
All right.
All right. I'm rolling on my camera.
I am too. You want to lead or you want me to take the lead?
You tell us where to go out.
I guess we'll swap back and forth. Let's go downtown, check out beautiful Charleston.
Okie dokie.
If you're ever in Charleston in West Ashley, at the Avondale area, Highfalutin right there, that's some pretty good coffee. And
Highfalutin coffee.
Highfalutin tea. This is
Yeah.
this is a left turn. I can use it, right? No, maybe not. Oh, it is. Yeah, we're good. Man, what a beautiful day, huh?
Yes, sir. I had to turn you up a little bit.
It's like 60, what, 5 maybe?
73 according to my dashboard.
No way. Already?
That's what it says.
That's awesome. It's just right. Get a little breeze going.
Gotta love it.
Got the sun out.
Oh, somebody backing up. So, I was looking at my Mercy Lion dash cam,
Yeah.
and if you get really close, you can kind of see the tire pressure
Uh-huh.
numbers. Teeny tiny, little at the bottom of the red.
Yeah.
Apparently, I have 67 pounds per square inch in my tires. According to
Wow.
Mercy, 67. I thought the bike was riding a little rough.
That's impressive.
That's terrible. I mean, is there like a metric pounds per square inch kind of thing that I'm missing? Is that stupid? Mercy Lion, this whole Mercy Lion thing has really been not good. My experience with it.
Might have to do an update video.
I mean, it's recording everything, but the camera's just fine. It's
Uh-huh.
just the interface is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about that in the video, in the review we did.
Yeah, it's just I have the same opinion after having it for a while. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. I can't see it in the daytime. The cameras are too small. All of the numbers are too small.
Yeah. Need to get you one like mine. I'm very happy with my Vanture. It doesn't have a display of any kind.
I don't want a display. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to have a display, I would want to see behind me, and I can't see behind me
Right.
with this one without going into the phone app and changing everything. But anyway, enough of me complaining. Let's go ride downtown and be happy.
Yes, let's be happy. No negatives today.
No negatives. You just did too. A no negative.
Well, so if you're following along on the map, we just came over from West Ashley. West Ashley is a suburb of Charleston, called so because it is literally west of the Ashley River. And we are now on Lockwood Drive, about to turn onto Broad Street. Out here at the bay, this is the Ashley River to our right. And we're turning down Broad Street. Up ahead here is the famous Coast Guard station.
Is it a famous Coast Guard station?
It's famous if you live here, because it's the only one we got.
Oh.
Now, what's cool about Charleston, again, if you're looking at the map, is it is a peninsula. The original colony that was Charleston is located over at a state park called Charlestown Landing. And it was not on a peninsula, not very easy for them to defend. So anyway, they ended up moving out onto this peninsula. But if you're a born and bred Charleston native, and have an egocentric mind, you tell people that the Atlantic Ocean was formed by the joining of the Ashley River and the Cooper River at Charleston.
Nice.
Isn't that funny? I love that. So on the other side of the peninsula is the Cooper River, which comes down the other direction. That's the big bridge everybody's always talking about, the big famous John Rutledge. Is it John? No, Rutledge Jr. Bridge?
I don't know if it's John. I just always knew it as Rutledge.
Yeah. And
But here's the nice city lake.
And this is actually a beautiful park, you guys, but the Conservation Center here in Charleston is redoing all the foliage. So normally there's a ton of beautiful flowers and plants and stuff all around Colonial Lake. But that's all being redone to beautify the area.
I like to ride down here and just look at the houses that have been here for 200 years and think about, these were dirt streets at one point.
Like this beautiful house?
Like that beautiful house. Or this one on the right that's all brick.
Oh, look, the azaleas are starting to bloom.
The Azalea Festival coming up in, where's that, Somerville?
Somerville, mm-hmm. Somerville, if you don't know, is famous for having the largest sweet tea in the world.
Really?
Yeah, they've got some massive sweet tea thing up there. It's a beautiful Catholic church here. St. John the Baptist. I've shot many a wedding in that beautiful church.
Nice. All of these wrought iron looking New Orleans kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Rutledge, that is the John Rutledge house. So that's why I was confusing the John part. But
well, if you notice here, this is one thing about before we move on. If you look to your right at number 109 right there, you see how there's a door and then it leads to a porch?
Yes.
That seems kind of like, what you lock the door, the people just jump the hedges. Right. So this is a remnant of long ago days where you didn't have air conditioning. So you would open, if you see there's another front door to the actual building, right?
Right.
Over in the wall. They would open those and open the windows and everything. But if you didn't want visitors that day, you would close your porch door.
Uh-huh.
If you were allowing visitors that day, you would open your porch door. See, there's a porch door right there. I thought that was a really neat historical detail that you wouldn't have known about.
And of course, the purpose, or part of the purpose, is that would allow the ocean breezes to blow through your porch, and you can sit out there and drink your sweet tea.
That's right. This church right here, I did a christening photograph in. Right here. I think George Washington went to church there once.
We passed through that intersection really fast, but that's called the Four Corners of Law, across from St. Michael's, the church you were talking about, the big white church, is City Hall. And across from that is the federal court system, but is also a post office. Those are the four. So you got the courts, you got the post office, you got the church.
Mayor's office in there.
And the City Hall.
Yep, City Hall. I was a little Charleston detail. Mayor Joseph Riley.
Longest running mayor in America.
North America. Except I think there was maybe one in Canada that was, but he was the longest running U.S. mayor, and he was a very good mayor. I got to talk with him a number of times for videos and stuff that we did. But what's funny is the guy who was elected right after Riley retired, he was one and done.
Yeah, it's kind of opposite, isn't it?
Yep, that's a little embarrassing.
I met Mayor Joe Riley on many photo shoots, and he had an uncanny ability to remember things about people. I think that's part of what made him so good, is he was a real people's mayor. And a beautiful building up here in front of us, by the way, is the old Exchange building. Let's cut down this way.
Okay.
But literally, I mean, I just was a lowly photographer at a bunch of, events that he happened to be presiding over. And he would come by and shake hands with the photographers and with everybody. And one day I was down here, this is White Point Gardens up here, literally doing an engagement shoot for a couple, and Joe Riley, who lives downtown, was walking by, just out walking his dog. And he goes, well, hey there, Chris. Like, he remembered my name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just is a special person that can do that.
There was a documentary that was done about Joe, and I got the privilege and honor to be the only videographer in his office as he was getting ready to come out to make the speech, the retirement speech. Bill Murray was in the audience. They had set up chairs in the street out front of the courthouse, or out front of the building.
Yep.
And I was the only videographer in there, and talking about his personality. He cleaned his own desk. He sprayed it down and got a paper towel and was cleaning his own desk while he was getting ready to go make the speech, and I got to record him doing all of that as just a fly on the wall, and my shots made the documentary. I was pretty pleased with that. That was fun.
A good, humble man right there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And while you were telling your story, we just came up Adgers Wharf. This is South Adgers Wharf, and South Adgers Wharf has cobblestones.
Yep.
We don't have a lot of mountains in South Carolina, do we?
We do not.
We have cobblestones. Where did those stones come from?
Ship ballast.
That's right. So they came down from England, probably.
Yep, they just offload them.
Now we're turning left onto East Bay, and we actually just kind of missed Rainbow Row. We should probably turn around and get Rainbow Row.
Yeah, we'll turn around and see it.
But this is continuing down East Bay Street to what they call the Battery. Go
around?
Yeah, go circle around the Battery and we'll come back.
Okay.
They say this is one of the most famous, most visited tourist attractions in the country. See all the people up here walking along the Battery?
Mm-hmm. I like looking up the old photographs of what the Battery looked like and the types of clothing that people wore back in the day when they were spending their weekends with their parasols and top hats.
Uh-huh. And they've done a really good job of reinforcing and revitalizing the Battery. This upper portion that we just saw is still some of the old, but as we go around to the other end, you'll see how it's been nicely manicured and built up.
Yep. We had to turn down this road on the right because they closed the road because they're repairing the seawall.
That's right. That's what I was just saying, the upgrades that they're making. They're moving on up.
Yep. Been a long time since that one had been done. I think they were doing a redesign of it as well. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You want to turn left here?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. This is Church Street.
I'd like to take a moment to thank the Oaks Private School for sponsoring this episode. The Oaks Private School is an accredited school catering to families who want to educate their children in their own home. The Oaks Private School, or TOPS, provides a transcript and a diploma that is accepted by universities worldwide as well as the U.S. military. Educating your children at home is a personal choice for many reasons. The Oaks Private School gives families that option, especially if the family travels consistently, if the students are athletes or actors, if the parents work internationally, or if they simply want to take personal control of their children's education. TOPS offers a wide variety of curricula to fit the learning style of each student, whether it's an online or a traditional style. So please check out their website at www.theoaksprivateschool.com to learn more or to set up a counseling session with one of their professionals. Thank you for taking a moment to check out TOPS.
And this has not cobblestone, but it's brick. Now stop right here on your right here, Jason. Let me show you something you've probably never heard of before.
Okay.
What are those?
Hitching posts.
Nope.
I'm guessing.
Posts is correct, but they're mooring posts.
Oh.
This used to be the end of the Charleston Peninsula. Water Street, the road we were just on is called Water Street. That was literally a creek. And this was a little, side creek, but people would hitch their boats to those.
So it's sort of like Charleston is kind of like Manhattan.
Yeah,
we have just filled it in.
All of this that we're riding on now was once underwater. Yep, this is now or marsh.
Yeah.
But yeah, they dredged all this up.
Interesting.
I didn't
know that.
I do a lot of photo shoots along this street. It's a really cool, lot of great backgrounds. Like, look at this house directly across here.
Mm-hmm.
How they revitalized or rebuilt that house, but they decided to leave some of the exposed brick underneath. Isn't that cool?
I like that it's the same. You know, Charleston, part of Charleston's charm is that. And in a lot of recent years, they have changed the rules or whatever and started doing more hotels and whatnot instead of keeping it historical. And some people are getting irritated about that, but time marches on.
Correct. Now look at the shutters on that.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that you would call that black, but it's actually Charleston green is the color. This one over here as well is Charleston green. And the way you can tell is if you look very carefully under certain light, certain reflections, you can see a really deep hunter green coming out from this black, apparent black shutter.
There's also a detail on these houses. If you notice on some of the sides of them, they have these plates where a bolt would go all the way through.
Yep.
I can't remember what the point of it was. Maybe earthquakes or something.
That is exactly correct. Those are.
Oh, look at me remembering stuff.
Yep. Earthquake bolt. So there's literally a humongous bolt that goes all the way through the house. Check that car out.
Oh, that's nice. Look at that.
Wow, and they're having a little picnic there next to it. Aww.
That's great.
Very cool. We'll pause here for a second. Let them go through. Over here to your right, by the way, this is 2 Meeting Street. It's a famous inn. And I forget all the stories exactly, but from what I remember, it was a gift from the bride, from the father to his daughter for a wedding gift.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
That's a nice wedding gift.
And then to the left, of course, is Battery Park, or what's also called White Point Gardens.
I hear it's haunted.
Huh. Why? Really?
Yep, I heard that there are some graves in there.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Unmarked graves, from what I understand. Yeah.
It's extremely popular with dog lovers. A lot of the locals will walk their dogs down here and let them run, which is really fun to watch. I do a lot of photo shoots in here with the avenues of trees, lots of cool oaks.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go left here, and then we can go right, and we'll be circling back around to where we mentioned the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
And then we can circle back to Rainbow Road.
And we'll see some of the new parts of the Battery, and of course the really famous multi-million-dollar houses that are down here on the Battery.
Mm-hmm.
I will, before we leave White Point Gardens, I'll mention it gets its name because this used to just be, remember we were talking about parts of Charleston that were just marsh originally?
Yeah.
That used to just be where the fishermen would dump all of their oyster shells. So all the oysters would litter that entire park area, and so it was just like this glistening white point. So they called it White Point Gardens.
Oh, yes. And then if you, at the other end down there, we had to skip it because of the construction, but you can see the fort.
Yes, Fort Sumter.
Mm-hmm.
But so this is the revitalized area. You can see the median now has all these palmetto trees. Look at how nice and new all the concrete is up there from the Battery.
Mm-hmm.
They've really done a nice job of building it up, making it more pedestrian friendly.
Yep.
And then the house.
And it's always had this walkway here, but it's gone through several iterations, of course, throughout the couple of hundred years.
The beautiful houses over here on the right. Just what a great view of the setting sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really pretty oak tree in that yard. Lots of nice gardens and yards in these downtown homes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of old money in Charleston. A lot of these homes were the plantation owners' summer cottages. So, of course,
A lot of rice. Rice was a big deal here in Charleston.
Carolina Gold, famous brand of rice, comes from Charleston, from the South Carolina area.
Mm-hmm. We took a carriage ride and got a story about one of the rice plantation owners.
Did you start that story just as you saw a carriage?
I think I did. But they were talking about I'll get the details wrong, but how the woman would, or the man would look out his window and one day he saw all of his boats on fire.
Oh, yes. That's very true. In fact, I don't know if you remember, I forget his name, but there used to be a pizza place downtown Charleston, Brick House Pizza or something, and it was built in the building that was, in fact, his warehouse. And so the upstairs of that building, they say, was haunted because he committed suicide when he saw.
He hung himself out the window or something. I can't remember what it was, but
Yep.
because he lost everything, watched it burn.
If you ever come to Charleston, spend a couple days here, we do highly recommend taking a ghost tour.
Yes.
They're a lot of fun, and they'll tell you about the guy who stands in his window up there. Charleston has the distinguished honor of fighting back and forth between another city nearby for being the third or fourth most haunted city in the country.
Oh, yeah?
Guess what that city is?
Would you think it's Savannah?
It's Savannah, and us. We seem to be fighting back and forth to see who's third or fourth, yes.
Yeah, well, Savannah is just a small Charleston. Even the bridges are the same in the downtown. Well, Savannah's a little different because the downtown area is set up different right there on the water, and you can carry your drink around on the sidewalk.
Is that a Georgia thing?
I don't know. It might be a Savannah thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I'll let you guess as to what the most haunted city is in America.
Boston.
Winston-Salem.
Ooh, with the Salem witch trials.
You got it.
Now, I've also done some reading, and the Salem witch trials were not as prolific in the witch killing as we have been led to believe.
Is that right?
There were only a few, but the myth of it has become such a big staple in our historical lexicon that we forget that it wasn't hundreds of witches being burned at the stake. It was only a few, and they weren't really witches, of course. Have you ever heard the story about how you find out if a witch is a witch or not?
You throw them in the river and see if they float.
Oh, almost. They would tie them to a chair at the end of a long pole and dunk them underwater. If they survived, they were a witch, and they would burn her.
Interesting.
If she died, she was human, and oh well.
Oh man, that's awful.
Oh yeah, you can't. That's a no-win situation.
Well, you remember in the Monty Python movies, he's a witch. He's a witch. And how do you tell if he's a witch? You throw him in the water. If he floats, he's made of wood. And I forget. They extrapolate from there. I love these trees. These are some of my favorite trees, by the way. These are crepe myrtles.
Oh, and then right beside it is one of my favorite trees, which is a magnolia, because it is the best climbing tree for a kid ever.
Oh, I like that. And we are on Trad Street, by the way. This is one of my favorite, just, out of the way downtown streets. It's so cool. Lots of old houses, old gates. We haven't talked about the gates in Charleston.
And there's one of those bolts that go all the way through right there.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Behind us.
Yep. And right there. It goes all the way through the house from one end to the other. Charleston is on a fault, right?
Yes.
Earthquake fault. And in fact, if we go down Church Street, I could show you a building that still leans. But
go ahead.
The earthquake bolts are designed to theoretically hold the two walls together so that you don't come tumbling down in an earthquake.
There are a number of, just north of us in Somerville and Goose Creek area, there are a number of earthquakes, small ones, each year.
I love the window boxes in Charleston. They're so pretty.
Here's another architectural detail that is Charleston specific. A lot of times you will see in these porches that I mentioned earlier, they will paint them a light blue color in the ceiling of the porch.
Huh.
And that color is called haint blue, H-A-I-N-T or something like that.
Okay.
Continue on.
What's the haint blue for?
To keep the ghosts away. Haint being haunt.
I just wanted to point out this is First Scots Presbyterian here. A lot of
Turn right.
You want to go right? Yeah.
Well, I was going to look at the front of it.
Okay.
And then we can go left and come back around to the... There we go. Yeah, paint blue to keep the haunts away,
Okay,
supposedly. Oh, guy's doing a painting. Oh, that's very good.
This is First Baptist Church. I got to photograph that for the renovation project they did. Let's turn back down Water Street. This is the street that we came up.
Okay.
This is the one where Charleston used to end at a water creek.
Thus the Water Street.
And then we'll turn left here and go up to First Baptist.
Something else that's interesting, too, is you will notice that the houses that face the road are parallel with the road, but their sides are not exactly square. You can see the houses go back at an angle. Like this one that's just across from us.
Uh-huh.
Or actually, there's one back there. Oh, look straight ahead. You'll see it's not square.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It goes back at an angle, so it's actually a triangle.
So I didn't realize. I don't remember Church Street being one way on this end, but it's one way.
We'll have to turn.
We will go back down our brick street and come back up the other way.
This where I say, hey, look, Big Ben.
Exactly.
Or, oh, look, mooring station.
Look, kids, Parliament. Well, let's see. Can we go left? Do you think we can turn left up there, or is that?
Let's find out. Let's find out.
Oh, yeah, we can make it. I wasn't sure if it was into the construction zone or not.
Yeah.
I love the hedges, all the long rows of hedges covered with...
Mm-hmm. We have to see Rainbow Row, though.
Yep, we're going to do that right now. So we can see the age in the brick ahead of us compared to, and the steps and everything compared to the old one.
The granite.
This is the part that has not been...
Those are slabs, not cast concrete. Those are slabs of stone.
Up here we have a tourist guide. These are walking tours. I highly recommend it. Charleston is a very walkable city. Here's another walking tour guide. Good friend of mine, Liz, is a tour guide.
Blinker. Blink, blink, blink.
Hello?
Blink, blink, blink.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting so involved in telling everybody about our beautiful city, I'm forgetting.
I know. It looks like you were turning left all the time.
Uh-huh. Here's another.
All right, so here it is.
Another tour guide. Oh, this is a photographer. This is what I do all the time. Oh, this is a famous little alley.
There's Rainbow Row.
In fact, the guy who lives there is a real jerk, I'll just mention.
Okay.
But this is Rainbow Row, yes. Look at the multicolored... Isn't that beautiful? Now, can you imagine with the crepe myrtles in bloom in the spring? That'll be in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a beautiful, just gorgeous place to visit.
Yep, look at all these. And it's part of the rule that you have to keep these houses in these colors.
Everybody's here getting married or on their bachelorette weekend. The theory is that back in the olden days, the mail was delivered by hand by slaves. Slaves, of course, were not allowed to learn to read or write. It was illegal to learn to read or write if you were a slave. And so, of course, a slave can't, read the numbers on the mailbox or the name on the mailbox. So the postmaster would say, okay, take this letter to Mrs. Jones. She's in the pink house. Take this letter to Mr. Smith. He's in the lavender house. And so on and so forth. Interesting. What's a story that's not true? Like, what do they call those?
Fiction.
Fiction, but no. Urban legend.
Urban legend.
No idea whether it's founded in truth or not.
Yep. So now we're entering the second most tourist spot.
Ooh, this is the building with the haunted man.
This is the Haunted Man building?
Yeah. So if you look at the very top up there, that was a big old warehouse back in the day. And ghost tours will walk you past here and tell you a story about how you can
Let's go down this way.
See him in the window.
That'd be neat. I'd like to see him up there.
Library at Vendu here on our right has a really nice rooftop bar. Highly recommended.
And if you're ever downtown and you can't find a bathroom, and they won't let you go in there because it's customers only, right there. Just saying.
Awesome. Yeah, this is the northern end of Waterfront Park.
Yep.
And it's actually been renamed for a man that we were talking about earlier.
Mr. Joe Riley.
Joe Riley Waterfront Park.
Where you see the pineapple fountain.
That's right. If you've ever seen an iconic picture of Charleston with a pineapple fountain, it's in the middle of that park.
Every photographer in Charleston has photographed the pineapple fountain.
If you haven't, you're not a real photographer.
We need to go up Market Street here. Now here's the Custom House.
Oh, yes.
I've done some music videos on the other side of the Custom House for a band here in Charleston.
Huh. I've done a lot of big group photos on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to get prior permission because it is federal property.
Yeah. Or you just have to do it quick.
Well, it's hard to do when you have 200 people in a corporate event.
Oh, well, I had 2 people, so I'm good. I'm good. So here's the market, and contrary to popular belief, this is not the slave trade market. This was just the regular retail market forever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
The slave trade market was someplace else. But I know a lot of people in here that do, this is where you come and you sell your handmade things and your art. And your photographs and your, and here, the sweetgrass baskets from the Gullah Geechee culture.
Yep. Men and women do the weaving.
Mm-hmm. You get the baskets and the little roses.
It is a dying art, handed down from generation to generation from the old slave days. Of course, that technique and everything came from Africa, which is where I was born, so makes me feel at home when I see those.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't think about that part.
Please, if you're ever in Charleston, do patron our sweetgrass basket ladies.
Yes, and Mahmoud Fazal, Shelley Fazal Art is in here. She does paintings, and I help them every once in a while, so man the booth. And Mahmoud is probably in there today.
He's a fantastic Charleston photographer. Used to be involved with the Charleston Center for Photography. And this end of the market is enclosed and air conditioned, but the other end is still an open air market. So in the summertime, you'll see them all open the shades and you get the breezes coming through. Another big tourist attraction here, if you're ever in Charleston, is you're probably going to visit Hyman's Seafood. This is Hyman's Seafood Company right here.
Very popular.
Famous place to eat. The food is pretty decent, but it's really more about the experience. I'm not going to say anything else about it.
Well, if you want, there's a number of restaurants. Charleston is known for chefs and high restaurants like the Oak Steakhouse and all of those other places. But there's a nice over on the wharf where we just came from at the end of White Point Gardens on this side is a nice seafood restaurant as well.
Yeah. You see a lot of other restaurants. Husk is one of the top restaurants in the nation. It's a really, really cool old historic fire department over here on the right.
Yep, there's the memorial when we had the tragedy of the firefighters. And you may remember the furniture store burning. And they've made a memorial for that.
Another big, beautiful church. Speaking of tragedies, why don't we go down the Charleston 9 church here? We'll turn.
Oh, yes, the Charleston 9. Probably know that from a few years ago with the Dylan Roof shooting.
The College of Charleston is the campus extends out to about here. We are on Meeting Street, by the way. And over here on the left, this big pink building is their athletic center where you see the College of Charleston basketball team. I used to photograph for ESPN basketball. And that was a very difficult place to sit on their hardwood basketball courts for 90 minutes shooting basketball, craning your neck up and down the court. Got to be a little too old for that.
I used to direct basketball and football games for colleges and high schools, and when I first got into TV and video, UNCW in Wilmington, I did some stuff for them.
Huh. Yeah, I bet you got to see some cool stuff in the TV industry, didn't you?
I did. I have a lot of stories.
There's the arena entrance, College of Charleston.
TD Arena.
It's cool, you got little things right next to it. I mean, they just built this massive arena in amongst these old little historic places. It's pretty neat. Here to the left, by the way, is Elliot Davis is in this building. He's a big client of mine. Very big.
Oh, and then the Gilliard Center.
Yep, and the Gilliard Auditorium. That's a really cool place.
Yes.
A lot of concerts, a lot of big performances take place there. I shoot a lot of corporate events as well.
I directed the musical in there. What is the name of it? It was written a long time ago, but I directed the presentation for video.
Huh, that's cool.
Bunches of cameras.
We are getting really near the end of our tour, you guys, but thanks for coming along. It's been a lot of fun to have you with us.
A couple of more stops.
I love living in Charleston. It's just a neat city, and I'm very proud of the scenery that we have here, and I love showing it off to other people, playing tourist in your own hometown. So it's very nice of you to join us. Let us showcase our beautiful town.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Buy a t-shirt.
Yes, new t-shirt shop Jason just opened. I already bought my first shirt, so. This gentleman in front of us, or lady, is parking at the parking garage for the aquarium. South Carolina Aquarium is really well known because everything in the aquarium is from the Low Country. So you really get a lot of cool stuff in there. And it's got a really nice park in front of it. Liberty Square.
And the Sumter. You can see Fort Sumter.
Yeah, the boat, if you take the tour to Fort Sumter, the boat actually leaves from that building just to the right of the aquarium.
Correct.
And the aquarium is really a cool building too, just really neat design. Beautiful views of the famous bridge we mentioned earlier. See if we can catch a glimpse of it here at the corner. Barely. We'll take you guys over the bridge one day and do a tour of Mount Pleasant.
Oh, that'd be all right.
Let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you think that'd be fun.
Mount Pleasant's not so historical, but...
Old Mount Pleasant's got some cool stuff. The old post house. A variety of different things in there. It's getting warm. So let's do this outro, baby, and go find somewhere to eat over by where the movie's going to be, huh?
Sounds good. It's almost 12 o'clock.
Or we could actually just go eat there, right?
We could.
We're coming up to the Mother Emanuel Church here. Look at this is where that famous Charleston 9 shooting took place.
Infamous.
Emanuel AME Church. What do you know about that? I don't know much about it other than what has happened.
Well, Dylan Roof got a bug up his butt about race and just went into a black church on a congregation evening and started throwing bullets around the room.
Awful.
Yep.
Can't imagine the horror and panic that was happening that morning.
Yep. It's like the tattoo I just got on my arm with the American flag and the words, "We hold these truths." Do you know the next part?
To be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Boom.
What else?
Now the problem with that is they're all created equal, but they don't necessarily stay that way because of behavior.
Very true. This is Moultrie Park, by the way. Famous park. A lot of college kids out here throwing frisbees around in the summer and spring break.
Is this one of those parks where they took down the statue?
It is. Yeah. Used to be a big statue of Mr. Moultrie. A lot of stuff in Charleston was, well, across the nation was taken down, historic stuff, because of their associations with different race issues. If you're in Charleston and you want to get around and you don't want to rent a car, a little pedicab is a popular way to go. Famous Hotel Bennett, right here on the corner of the park.
And I don't get any discounts.
No, you don't. You even have the right name. Well, we're going to cruise on out of here. This is King Street, very popular shopping district or shopping street. And this side of town used to be the other side of the tracks. But, revitalization doing what it does, it's...
Now it is the right side of the tracks.
Now it's the place to be. Look at all these shops. Yep.
I can smell the food.
American Theater. Pretty cool spot.
This road right here was scenes from a number of movies.
Can you name any of them?
With that theater in the background.
Oh, right. Theater. And the building next to it is a really nice event space. I shoot a lot of events and wedding receptions there. Hanging flower baskets are another kind of iconic King Street thing. And this street, by the way, in the evening times, because there are so many bars and restaurants along here, they actually block off half the street. So it becomes a pedestrian thoroughfare.
And every second Sunday, if I'm remembering correctly, they shut off a portion of King Street completely and just have community shop walks, and you can bring your pets out and all that kind of stuff and walk down the street.
Absolutely.
I actually shot a music video in the middle of the street down here one day.
Huh. Walking downtown on second Sunday?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, I had him stand in the middle of the street, and it did a time lapse when people going by him really fast. Oh. And he held really still.
That is very cool.
Yeah. By the band Go Jenny Go.
Well, that pretty much wraps up our tour of downtown Charleston. We're going to continue on up here and jump on I-26 to go to the SEBDR Film Festival. Going to go watch the SEBDR premiere. But thank you again for watching, you guys. It's been a pleasure to show off our little city and our little corner of the universe.
And to find out how much we remember about our town.
Yeah, it was totally ad-libbed. We didn't research or do anything.
I never research.
We actually did it on a complete whim because we had a couple hours to kill before the SEBDR festival and after our coffee break. So
we hope you had an hour to kill or so, and however long that tour took. Thanks for coming along. Hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to buy a t-shirt and check out our Africa trip. Donate to that if you want to help us get to Africa for a Moto medical mission in August.
Absolutely. I'm excited about that.
See you next time. And cut.
And cut.
That was fun.